tried something a little bit different today. I'm doing this voiceover just lying in bed, right into my phone, and I'm going to share with you a bunch of footage that I have of animals in Florida, like this wonderful rooster hanging out at the bus stop in Miami. This is so Miami. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy footage from my home state of Florida and some of the footage that I collected during my 2 years of living on the road, which is quite a bit. Some of you may know that I've mentioned I have another channel. This footage was all filmed for that channel. Yes, this is a cat riding a stand-up paddleboard. This is Jack, or as I call him, Captain Jack. He's not my cat, but that is me filming. And that is me on the stand-up paddleboard. Jack is an adventure cat of a friend of mine. There they are. And, what can I say? That was really fun. Here's my shark tooth collection from, one day of gathering shark teeth at Minnesota Beach, which I mentioned in my Florida road trip ideas video. I wasn't messing around when I said that you can find shark teeth really easily. Lots of underwater animals. This was filmed in Lithia Springs. That's some kind of catfish. This is filmed in the glass bottom boat door of Silver Springs, which is a state park near Gainesville in Florida. It's in the Ocala National Forest. Like I said, the Florida Springs are really special. And this video depicts not just the fishies, but also, I think a spring boil at the bottom. This is what a spring boil looks like out in the open. This is another spring, and that's all fish jumping around. I don't know what's under there, but it was really lively when I visited there. And then you can also see the Little Mermaid and Prince Eric. This is at Weeki Springs, the Mermaid Show, another state park. I never was really an outdoorsy kid growing up. I was definitely a computer child, an indoor kid. But that's all changed as I've grown older. And not only do I get up to super fun outdoorsy adventures, but I just love to poke around in the world and take a closer look at what I find interesting, I guess. Like this little crab. Does anybody know what's up with this crab? I don't. There's some crabs that my old roommate once caught, and there's a horseshoe crab. That's not the kind of crab you want to eat. That was a hawk flying down to his springs. That's an anhinga on my college campus. That is a pileated woodpecker. I was somewhere in the middle of the state when I filmed this at some battlefield state park or something. I was just parked there all day, and then I heard this noise, and this bird was 20 feet away from me, working on I think that hole is big enough to be a nest. These are sandhill cranes. These are migratory birds that come through every winter. They like grasses. There's a classic pelican. Some of these animals just really let me get There's also a little blue heron who's the same size and shape, but that bird is all blue and quite a dark blue, so that's a tricolor. There's another anhinga giving me the threatening face. These birds don't have waterproof wings, so they have to dry out like this. They're like little dinosaurs, prehistoric birds. That is I don't know. There's a turkey, classic turkey, Spanish moss. This is a great blue heron at Circle B Park Preserve in Lakeland. There's another pelican, a brown pelican. And, oh look, that's not a bird. That's a wood stork. And geese. I filmed this out of my moonroof. Oh, those aren't geese. Maybe they're ibis. I actually can't tell. Maybe they're pelicans. There's more sandhill cranes. There's like a mated pair. They're so cool. They're so huge. And they have that red spot on their head. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting to the lizards, y'all. So, anywhere in Florida where there's water, there's gators. Here's a little baby, probably 1 year old. Basically, however long they are, like 1 foot is 1 year. And this little baby is probably still under the protection of mommy. Gators actually, they guard their eggs and they raise their young. It's rare for lizards. This lizard is super habituated to humans. Obviously this one is too, so if you're wondering what you're looking at, this is an airboat tour in the Everglades, and this gator is very used to being interacted with by humans. And obviously this human knows the gator really well. The human, the tour guide, can elicit a bunch of responses from this gator using like sounds and movement. And it was really impressive to see. Now, do know that this gator is wild, and this gator can go away at any time. And it's choosing to interact with this guy. And I know that if you're not from Florida and you're not familiar with this kind of stuff, like this probably seems totally insane to you, like that, right? But the thing is, this gator knows that this guy's not easy prey, and you know, you don't want to do this with just any gator, obviously, but like, honestly, most people would be really surprised by how, I don't know, like, I don't know, I'll say this, like, business entirely run by Native Americans, and the guides are all Native Americans who have grown up in the Everglades, and it's the tradition, the oral history tradition is really strong. Buffalo Tiger was the man who created the company. He's the mentor. Yeah, here we go. This gator's like, I've changed my mind. I'm ready to go. This gator's maybe 7 or 8 feet. And that's pretty much the size at which you want to really be aware of gators that are over 7 or 8 feet. But look at that little cowbird. Or is it? That's a grackle. That's a female grackle. The grackle's not worried about that gator. You know who's worried about that gator is turtles. Turtles. One of the gators we came across on this tour had bits of turtle shell still in its mouth. That's what you'll usually see when you see a gator, though. Here we've got a knoll, a little lizard. He's got something in his mouth. This little guy was really brave and let me get really close to him. I love these little lizards. I grew up in Florida, so here they are doing their little push-ups to intimidate me. They're pushing up at each other. Can you even see them? Their camouflage is so good. I grew up catching these lizards, and I would never do it today, but you can literally make them open their mouths and hang earrings on your ears. Here we've got some domestic animals. Here's Wonderhoof. Wonderhoof was my friend's beef cow, steer actually, and yeah, he was a doll, and he taught me a lot about cattle. He was like a little mini cow. I think he's half the size of a normal steer. There's Turtle, the little stray cat that I rescued. And here's Ginger and Roxy. Clash of the Tinies, as I like to say. All I can do is laugh when I watch them. Roxy. And here's some little cows. Up near Jacksonville. Here's Birdie and Sammy. There's Henry. Henry's helping out at the shop. That's a puppy. And there's Maggie, my dad's dog. And here's Russell. Rest in peace, Russell. He was a wonderful dog, little poodle baby. And here he is shredding a coconut in the yard in Sarasota. Russell loves a project. There's a Cuban tree frog hanging out in a bromeliad. Speaking of bromeliads, there's 1 million epiphytes on this tree. I think I'm kayaking here. Look at all those plants. Those are all air plants just growing off the wood of the bark of these trees. Gosh, Florida's so beautiful. I can't believe I hated it so much growing up. Spider lilies, swamp lilies, so pretty, beautiful wildflowers. Oh, we've got more push-ups and dew-flaps of the anole, the classic anole. So fun. I love these little guys. They're so lovable. And so we've seen the brown anoles, the little brown lizards. Here's the green anole. love this animal. They look right back at you. They're so cool. I just love animals. You guys, when I first signed up for the internet, AOL 2.0, my first grade password was animals. I don't know what kind of animal this is. That's a gecko, I think. Oh, I know what this is. Can you see it? Growing up in Florida, I always had these in the backyard. I grew up on a pine forest, I guess, in Orlando. But this is an endangered animal because this guy likes to live where humans like to live, which is the dry lands, where he can dig burrows in the sand. This is a gopher tortoise. I love gopher tortoises. They're so chill. And unfortunately very endangered. But it's always a treat to see them. And apparently I've seen a lot of them. Look at this guy. Tortoises are so funny. Beautiful lily pads. I don't even remember where this is at all. But this is what my life was like when I lived in the minivan. Oh, we've got raccoon tracks. Okay, so here's what should be a domestic animal, but is feral. Does anybody know where this is? Famous feral horses. It's actually technically not in Florida. It's in Georgia. This is Cumberland Island. And here we've got some wonderful cattle. I forget where I was. I was on a hike and I found these cattle. Cattle egrets. So beautiful. Such a beautiful animal. Very curious about me. And then, what's this? Where are we? Oh, so I'm showing you the orange tree dropping the fruit on this mound of dirt. And then here we go. Here's another state park, Highlands Hammock State Park, in the middle of the state in Sebring, Florida. These little boardwalks, they've got like 5 little hikes that are less than a mile, and they're mostly on these kinds of boardwalks. It's so cool. In the cypress swamp. It's so beautiful. This is why I recommended Highlands Hammock. It's really quite magical. And you see, when I was there, I ran into otters more than once. Look at that reflection. And then cormorant or an anhinga. It's just so beautiful. This is why when people say drain the swamp, I'm like, hey, leave the swamp alone. The swamp's a good thing. And here we've got a coastal estuary boardwalk. I think this is in Bradenton. Yeah, this is in Bradenton. Gosh, look at that. You see all those grasses? That's called muley grass. That's one of my favorite plants in Florida. In the fall, when the holidays start, it turns purple. And they're so soft and they wave in the wind. And there's this little palapa cheeky on this trail in Bradenton. Let's see, I think this is the Manatee River. I've probably kayaked more on the Manatee River than anywhere. Oh no, this isn't the Manatee, this is the Wassissa up in the Panhandle, Big Bend. And here's classic Florida, this bridge construction. Building a new, freeway. Paving paradise, right? That's Florida 101, man. there's Australia. This one's not so big though. Oh, there's a pretty bug. There's the monarchs. The monarch butterfly. So beautiful and slowly becoming endangered. Flying off into the sunset. That's Sarasota Bay. Thank you so much for joining me for this weird video. Did you have a favorite bit of footage? Have you ever seen an ASMR video like this before? I seriously doubt it. I don't think I have. This is literally just all the footage that has survived from my van life days, so thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing.